Alright, it's the 27th of November and I'm just going to give an update on some of my bamboos. And this is my favorite one, the dendrocalamus asper hitam. This guy's already gotten up above 7 feet. And the smaller one I actually sold off already, but I actually did create another one, little one. And this was basically off of a branch that actually had root nodes right at the base, so it's kind of like a shoot. And after about a month, actually got really stable and well rooted out, so I actually took it off, and after about another month it's made a couple of shoots. Like this longer, taller one, it's just about ready to be taken off, and then the existing, if there's any more shoot buds, you can try to make more, but this one, it's gotta wait for another week or two, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to wait till both these guys are good to go, because the thing about taking propagations from these, you want to make sure that it's nice and hardened. And there's also some leaves, but you don't want to have too much, because if there's too much, a lot of times that can just take too much moisture. Because it's also going to be a little bit easier to take them off when they're relatively young, so I'll probably wait till this guy gets maybe about a foot tall, maybe about doubling in height, and having maybe about 2 or 3 really good leaves, and I'll take them off. And I just have to take the whole thing out of the soil and separate them, and then this is basically called vegetative propagation. This is really similar to tissue culture, but on a little bigger scale and not using petri dishes with culture. And as far as creating another one of these branch cuttings, I actually topped my latest shoot, because as you see, the first shoot itself right here, it's actually well branched, well leafed out. And I can probably leaf out a little bit more, but you get the picture. It's pretty much well developed, so I actually made another shoot. And one thing about this is, these tend to have really close clumping shoots. As you can see, it's got tons of roots right here, and I'm going to hopefully get these guys to be activated. Try to get all these growth points to turn into a shoot. So yeah, I'm just going to keep them moist. Probably water these guys a lot. And that's why I'm actually using all this moss. And here's some other bamboo. This is a Bambusa vulgaris Waman, making a new shoot. Oddly, it's not as big as its previous one. It could get a little bit fatter, but it's about 5 inches away from the main clump. And it's actually a lot easier to separate that way. I like to use these little bags and try to air layer one. And I think I see a little root coming right here. It's really hard to tell. But if it takes, then that's all the better, because these are actually divisions off of it. Something like this right here, it's nice and hardened. It's definitely a good division if I wanted to. But I'll probably leave it alone for now. And here's my Butterbelly division, which is a branch division. Looks like I left 2 good leaves on it, and it doesn't have a lot of roots, so it's gonna keep it in partial shade. And this is my Bambusa polymorpha, and a week ago I actually took off a division, which is actually starting to grow now. And then earlier this morning I took off another one. This is just about the same. And as long as it looks like this and has a lot of good root mass, plus it's relatively hardened off. It's not completely hardened off yet, but for the most part it is. It's gonna go. It's gonna be just fine. Just like these guys. Like this guy, it's actually hanging in there. It's Bambusa tolda, but I'm not really sure. If these can really grow well, then should be alright. This is bamboo sulaco, which is really successful. It was actually not branched when I took it, and now it is. So it's going to be a complete success. Here's some Bambusa barbatus. Oh no, that's dendrocalamus barbatus. And sometimes when you look down here, for example, a low branch like this, it's possible to literally clip this off and then stick this into a little pot. If they're a really low growing branch. And this is Bambusa ventricosa, so it's another Buddha belly forming type. So that's another thing you can do to actually make more plants, and it's really fun. This is probably the easiest to propagate type. Sometimes when they have so much mass here, you can literally just separate the clump. Some of these are pretty big. If it's like this right here, it's still rising. This is Bambusa mangshi. Probably gotta wait another 2 weeks or so until it gets to its full height. Sometimes I try to air layer these guys. This is one's not quite taking. Yeah, this is Gigantochlora heterobilosea, and it's probably gonna make a new shoot pretty soon because that one's well leafed out. And this one cut down the old culm and it actually put out a pretty nice fat shoot, which is gonna rise up, probably get to its full height in another 2 weeks or so. It's already about 3 feet tall. And here are some of my Bambusa longitudinata, and I separated these 3 about a month ago. They're definitely really successful. All 3 of them look great. Like, this one, these 2 actually managed to, it's actually been more than a month. They both managed to put out a nice shoot. And then this is my Dendrocalamus sinicus, dragon bamboo. Got some foliage here. And this one's putting out 2 nice shoots. And then I have the Dendrocalamus giganteus. This guy is really tall. It's probably about 9 feet or so. And it's actually rebranching. It's making, like, even though the big ones destroyed or died off, it's trying to regenerate. So even in the lower nodes. So that's pretty exciting. Eventually should make another shoot. But actually one of them, the middle one, just didn't have enough good root mass, so that one died, but the lowest one is actually doing great. As long as you have some leaves that hang on and it doesn't die off completely, that means the roots are healthy and it will regenerate, which what this one is, because there's actually a lot of new leaf growth. And yeah, it's actually see some new branches forming too. So you should eventually shoot and make a full recovery in its 15-gallon pot. And this is the other Dendrocalamus giganteus, which is putting up 2 slightly bigger shoots. This is a smaller one, but it's looking great. For example, this bamboo sulaco, the skinny one I can basically take off as a division, but I'm going to leave it alone because it has this one growing on. I don't want to stress it out too much. This guy is getting really tall, probably close to 10 feet. Another bamboo sulaco. And then I have my Dendrocalamus asper. This is a type that they typically farm for shoots or timber. Some of these have actually taken. I've actually taken off 2 successful ones, but I don't see any new shoots on it quite yet. But one thing about doing air layers, you don't want to get to be too moist. And my big dendrocalamus sinicus. It's actually got one that's taller. It's probably breaking the 10 feet mark right there above the canopy. But one thing that I kind of found, since it's a seedling, it doesn't seem to want to make a lot of bigger shoots. For example, that one right there, it might be just about the biggest one I've gotten so far, but it's not necessarily a lot bigger. It's still acting like a seedling, but it's only making marginally bigger shoots. So maybe at some point in time it will send up a much bigger shoot, but not quite yet, and it's not really spreading out all that much. It's actually no more than 2 feet by 2 feet in diameter for the entire clump. And for my dendrocalamus asper divisions, these are the 2 divisions right here. This one's kind of hanging in there. Stressing a little bit because it didn't have a whole lot of mass. And then I have this one right here. Both of these guys are air layers. So air layering definitely works.